What's the biggest lie women tell? I've got nothing to wear. Hey guys, it's your girl Gloria. Yes, I am at a hotel. I am back in Shanghai and I'm here for Shanghai Fashion Week. Honestly, when I first started my channel 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would be here. So I'm incredibly thankful. And I've been thinking a lot about how this all started, like why I started my channel in the first place.
The change needs to start with us. We, the consumers. We can change this in many different ways. We can restyle the clothes we have and stop buying so much. We can buy secondhand. We can support sustainable and ethical brands. We can even rent our clothes. I believe we can look good and do good at the same time.
I've always loved clothes. I love fashion, but I want to do it more consciously because I hate wasting things. And most importantly, I hate wasting money. Now, after 2 years of starting my channel, I want to do a biannual report of how my wardrobe has evolved and how you can build your dream wardrobe more consciously too, regardless of your budget. My wardrobe started off just like a typical young female. It was filled with fast fashion pieces accumulated all the way back from my freshman year, which was a long time ago. It was mostly black and white because I've always had a weird obsession with black and white, but there were also some strange colors mixed in there, like bright pink and neon blue. And plus, most of the pieces didn't go well together because they were either the wrong cut or the wrong fabric. It was like I had a wardrobe full of clothes, but nothing really looked good on me. Well, classic fast fashion symptoms. The only thing that somehow tied my wardrobe together was the fact that it was mostly black and white. Remember, that was just 2 years ago. Feel free to refer to my very first closet clean-out video and you'll see for yourself. Over the past 2 years, I've slowly updated my wardrobe, but you'll still see a lot of the pieces from years ago, like my 6-year-old flat leather sandals. One of my subscribers actually wrote to me saying, "I saw you in Shanghai, I wasn't sure it was you, so I looked at your sandals. Yeah, it was you." Well, that's the beauty of slow fashion. Aside from the fact that people can literally recognize you from your shoes, there's also no need to completely overhaul your wardrobe. You can build your dream wardrobe in your own time and on a budget that suits you. In today's video, I'm going to go off of the 4 major ways to build your wardrobe more consciously and share with you some practical tips I've learned over the years. So, grab your pen and paper and take notes. The first way is obviously restyling what you already have. This literally costs $0. I've hammered home this message on my channel. The majority of my videos are just restyling the same shit over and over again. But seriously, I've come up with so many ways to restyle my clothes that I'm never out of outfits. What are the basic principles of restyling your clothes? Well, first, you've got to find the pieces in your wardrobe that are versatile. Dig through your wardrobe and find those classic pieces, like a white t-shirt, a pair of jeans, a white button-down shirt, or a pair of black trousers. They are gonna do most of the work, and they deserve to get paid more. Like, I mean it. Of course, you can style these classic pieces interchangeably. The amazing thing is, you can also style your odd pieces with them. You know, things like a red lace top or a hot pink feathered skirt. Like, if you style the red lace top with a pair of classic black trousers, it's gonna look pretty good. But if you style it with the hot pink feathered skirt, not gonna comment. Here's another secret tip. Come here. Ever wonder why classic pieces look good on other people but not on you? A lot of the time it's because of the cut and the material. A pair of black trousers could be low-rise, mid-rise, or high-rise. For example, if you put a pair of low-rise pants on me, I'm gonna look like trash. Mid-rise, not the best, but high-rise, perfecto. That's how I trick you into thinking I'm tall. If you find that some of your clothes are just the wrong cut for you or the wrong material and you're ready to make some updates to your wardrobe, then I would say focus on the classic pieces first. Oh, secondhand. Probably the most underrated way to build a wardrobe. You can literally score high quality pieces at a fraction of the price and save the planet at the same time, because manufacturing new clothes takes a lot of water and energy. But I know what some of you might be thinking. Ew, I don't want to wear clothes that other people have worn before. At this point, I can already hear my mom screaming internally because she wouldn't even touch the clothes that she has tried on once. Well, she is a hopeless case, but for the rest of us, there is hope. Let's take me as an example. I used to resist wearing secondhand clothes as well, but since I'm not willing to splurge $3,000 on a piece of designer clothes because my wallet says no 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 and my brain says wake up bitch, so I decided to finally give secondhand a try. My very first piece of secondhand clothing was a houndstooth pantsuit I scored from Real at about 70% off retail price. At first, I was a little bit scared. Like, what if it turns into a ghost and haunts me at night? But the truth is, it didn't haunt me at night, and it almost looked brand new. And since then, I've been addicted to shopping secondhand, and I scored so many high quality items. I made a video sharing all the secondhand items I got a while back, so feel free to check it out. I should probably make an updated video on it in the near future. Well, depending on where you live, there are different options for shopping secondhand. You could go to your local consignment or thrift stores, or you could shop online, which is what I prefer anyway, because I'm lazy. Now that I'm in China, I've tried 直二, 红布林, 闲鱼, which are all amazing platforms. And when I was in Canada, I was obsessed with the Real. Aside from that, Depop, Poshmark, and Vestiaire Collective are also some good options. Honestly, if one day I snap, I might become a secondhand clothing collector. All I need is a big mansion to store all those clothes. If you are a lost cause like my mom, in that you really can't accept secondhand clothing, then the next best option is to shop from sustainable brands. These brands put a lot of emphasis on protecting the environment, the garment workers, and animal welfare. In an ideal world, this should be the perfect solution, but I know, the reality is a bit more complicated than that. Even as someone who advocates for slow fashion, I admit that the whole term of sustainable fashion could sound a bit elitist, and that's the reason why I've been using the term slow fashion instead of sustainable fashion. In a conventional sense, if you want to participate in sustainable fashion, you would shop from sustainable brands. But since these brands tend to be a bit more expensive and a lot of the time they're not as accessible, it could seem out of reach to some people. I feel like the term slow fashion is a bit more inclusive. Sustainable fashion is a part of slow fashion, but you don't have to shop from sustainable brands to participate in slow fashion. Whichever brand you shop from, as long as you wear the clothes for a long time, that is slow fashion. I made a video in which I shared a few affordable sustainable brands, so feel free to check it out. If you want to look up more of these brands, Good On You is a really good resource. Here in China, I honestly haven't found a similar website with lists of brands per se, but there are some educational resources like Rise, so you can have a look at it. All I'm trying to say is, if you can support sustainable brands, that's awesome. If you can't because of the pricing or accessibility, that's okay. You can still look for pieces that are made of more durable materials, pieces that you can keep for a long time. The majority of my wardrobe is not from sustainable brands, but whenever I add something new into my wardrobe, I make sure they're made of durable and high quality materials. I will make a video specifically on clothing materials in the future, so keep an eye out for that. If you are someone who needs a lot of variety and newness, renting clothes might be your best option. You get to try on as many new styles as you like, it's a lot cheaper than buying all those clothes, and plus, you're helping the environment too because you're sharing the clothes with other people. The only thing is, you're not gonna own the clothes and it's gonna be hard to keep a personal style this way. If neither of these things are important to you, then perfect. For me, personal style is really important, and when I want something, I want it now. So I haven't really tried this method myself. The only time I rented something was 9 years ago in Canada. It was for a show. I rented a silver sequin dress from Renfrock Repeat, but apparently they are out of business now. Anyways, here in China, a quick search on the internet shows me 123托特衣箱, but I haven't tried any of these services, so I can't really speak for it. Maybe I should try this out one day. Now, after 2 years of slowly updating my wardrobe, I feel like I've reached a pretty happy state. I find that my desire for new clothes has greatly diminished. I only add new things into my wardrobe very occasionally, like when I need to update my capsule wardrobe for the season. The best thing about having my wardrobe taken care of is that I now have more time to focus on other things, like working out, reading, traveling. Okay, maybe not traveling. Sorry COVID, didn't mean to offend you. Yeah, just living life in general. By the way, there's gonna be a Fashion Week vlog coming up, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you soon.